about your young players, you've got one of them standing behind you. Like, what are your expectations for Lucas this year?
That 17-year-old giant over there, yeah, he's Lucas is exactly what I'm speaking about. He's a kid that, and he's a young man actually. He's a young man that is respectful, very hardworking, very intellectual, wants to play football the right way. He's an on-the-ball player. His ceiling's massive, and to shoot straight from the hip, which I like to do, he's the best defender in Australian football right now. For me, he's got the highest ceiling of anyone.
Came in at a really tough time, but now you've had that last season and this pre-season put your DNA on the team. How are you feeling with things? How are you?
Optimistic, as always. It depends how you look at it. I feel like I came in at the right time for me. It gave me, the ability to get to know my players in tough circumstances and under a lot of adversity. So it was a great learning period for me to see, the quality of the playing group under pressure and the character of the playing group under pressure. So that time was definitely beneficial, and it's kind of made it very clear to me what we need, and we've tried to put in place now, different characters and different personalities and different qualities that can help the group. So I'm really optimistic about this year.
Yeah, you've lost a few, but you've got some good replacements. Can you tell us about why you handpicked a few of those guys?
Yeah, look, it's well, I won't talk too much on the individuals, but character is really important for me. In a dressing room, you need to have a different spread of personalities and intellects, and we've tried to be very diverse with the type of people that we bring to the club. But the common denominator is they all want to work hard. They're all here for the right reasons. They all want to be here. They're hungry. They share the same vision that I share, and that's to make Brisbane Roar a big club again and have success. So yeah, like I say, very optimistic and very positive in our dressing room at the moment.
Thomas Waddingham really hit the scene last year. Second year into it, you don't want to put the expectation and the pressure too high, but nice to see him really kick on this year.
Yeah, look, Tommy, I've spoken a lot about Tommy. First of all, young Queenslander. He's got that Queensland spirit in him. He's a Brisbane Roar fan at heart, which helps because his care for the club and for the team's massive. In terms of potential, look, the ceiling on him is very, very high. I feel like, with the right development and with the right environment, he has the ability to go to the highest level. What's nice is he's already been recognised, as an international footballer in his age group. He's currently away with the national team. So the growth and development for him in those international windows is very, very big. And obviously he comes back here, and then we kind of do the opposite to what you just said. We put as much pressure and as much stress as we can on him and see how he copes, and try and keep him in the deep end where he's got bricks on his feet and he's struggling to stay afloat. So look, we want him to go to the highest level, and to do that he's got to work really hard, and he has to be able to handle himself in tough situations. He did that well last year, and I've got high hopes that he can do that again this year.
Usually when guys sort of stand out like that, they get snapped up pretty quickly, but you've managed to hang on to him. How keen is he to stick around and really commit himself?
Oh, it's funny. Like I'm sure that he wants to go and play overseas, like all young aspiring Australian footballers. I had that dream, and I was able to go and do that in England. The key is, like we've seen many times, is to go at the right time and to the right club, because you can find yourself in some deep water over there, and you find yourself back here pretty quickly if you don't find the right move. So look, there's obviously the right move for Tommy, and then there's the right business deal for our club, and we've had plenty of offers and plenty of interest from some of the biggest leagues in the world, to be honest. But it's about the right price as well. We know what type of asset we have. We know what type of character we have. We know what type of person Tommy is, and we know where his ceiling is, and that's the nice thing for us. We're going to keep developing him, improving him as a person and a player, and I'm sure he'll get the move at the right time.
Do you think the Socceroos is on his radar as early as this year? There's obviously a bit of flux at the moment in the national team.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I was at a talent ID game for the under-20s down in Sydney towards the end of last year, and Graham Arnold was still the Socceroos head coach, and at that time, obviously Arnie's someone I've had a lot of dealings with, so my relationship's strong with Arnie, and he watched that game and came over to me and shared some views on Tommy about what a great player we've got on our hands and what a great kid, just the way he handles himself. So I've got no doubt that he's definitely on that trajectory, but I would say there's a few higher calibre players like your Adam Taggarts and the likes that are definitely in front of him, and they won't give up their jersey very easy. So hence the reason why we're hard on Tommy, hence the reason why we coach him and put him under a lot of pressure, because for him to make that next step, he's going to have to keep working really hard.
Do you think it'll help him having, with Pop having coached in the A-League, having seen him, that's going to help him? sense in the future?
Yeah, look, Popper. So onto Popper first of all. Like what a great role for him to take. He's earned his stripes in terms of, he's been successful and been a big presence in Australian football for a long time. I was lucky enough to share the dressing room with Popper at Sydney FC. He's a winner and he's very hard-working. So I dare say he'll do his due diligence on all players, knowing him well, and he'll know what they're capable of, and he'll pick the right team for the right moments. And not just Tommy, but all of our young Brisbane talents will be on his radar for sure.
We're talking to Jay as well about the coaching turnover that has been here over the last 5 or 6 years or so. Where's sort of your thinking? Are you sort of looking at a long-term vision for this club and really building stability over a long period?
Yeah, look, there's obviously short-term goals, medium-term goals and long-term goals, and then there's a lot of buzzwords that come with coaches at this point in time when we talk, about grand plans. What I would say is I'm certainly not looking backwards. I'm certainly not looking, at the turmoil that was happening before I took over. What I am working very hard on is making sure that we implement, a process for this club, and that's in the football department. That's a high-performing, environment that basically the process and the environment sustains the success, and that takes time. But I feel like we're well underway. The quality of the people we have, and I say this not lightly, but the quality of the people and the individuals that are in that backroom staff, in the office, the management team, they're hungry people, they're good quality people, and the environment there is very strong. What we've been able to do now is, build a high-performing environment in our coaching staff. I've got a lot of support staff that are great people, and they're doing some great work, and then that then translates into the players. We hold the players at a very high standard and ask them to be, the best version of themselves. And if we get all that right and we stay together as one club and create the right culture and right environment, then the success will be a byproduct of that.
And the philosophy of really harnessing local homegrown talent as well. Can you just walk us through what's behind that? And is that, I guess, to continue this progression of players for a longer term and keep that local production line going?
Yeah, for sure. Look, I'm a massive believer in if you want to have a club that represents one state like it is here, then we need to have Queenslanders involved. I've done that in my coaching staff. I've done that in the playing group. I've identified some really good young talent that's in our system, and also some young talent that wasn't in our system. In the short time I've been a head coach at A-League level, I've given, I don't know the exact numbers anymore, but over 20 debuts to players under 21 years of age. And of those players, a lot of them have kicked on into international team setups. So, look, I'm a big believer that there's, you've got to look at the potential of some players and not at where they're at right now. And then if your environment's strong and you actually coach, then I believe that the development growth for those young players is big. And at the moment we've got, I think Jay touched on it, we've got an environment where we're working long hours, especially on some of those younger ones, and especially on some of those young Queensland players that have the clear identity of what we want this club to be, down the track.
What sort of brand of style of play can we expect from this team? As we chat about how there's been a lot of coaches come through, but is this going to be a continuation of last year, or are you looking to put a more unique spin on things?
No, definitely a continuation of last year. Look, I've got very clear beliefs. My beliefs are very strong, in myself and also the way the game should be played. I've worked under, some world-class managers, guys like Ange Postecoglou and Graham Arnold and Pierre Litbarski, Paul Jewell, Premier League managers like Ian Holloway, and they're all contrasting managers with different visions, different styles, different philosophies. But being exposed to that and then being able to take the best parts of what they do, and then also, applying my own experience and my own, lessons learnt, it's very clear how I want the game to be played. And I don't really have to talk too much, to be honest, on our playing style, because at the end of last year, even in some difficult circumstances, it was very clear. You hear a lot of coaches talk about being on the ball. It's clear we're on the ball, we're attacking, we're down their end, and the stats and the metrics of each game, for the most part, for the majority, we're in our favour, which is certainly a positive sign of what's to come. Given that we've had now a pre-season to go and build and work really hard, I'm confident that my vision and my philosophy will come to life pretty quick.
And the boys, together and sort of new faces, who were here then, looking ahead to the season.
Yeah, Marco, you've been around long enough to know that those trips are, about what happens off the field as much as what happens on the field. And what I can say is, you know, on the field they're working really hard, and that trip was great because we had some interesting circumstances, let's say in India, some tough conditions, and it was certainly a different style of football that we kind of were confronted with there. That was a great learning opportunity for our group. But the way they held together and the way they stick together and the things that, the bonds and the connections that are happening off the field, you know, they're the same bonds and connections that I believe, you know, make a team on the grass. So I'm very proud of the way my team's connecting, very proud of the way my staff are working, and it all shapes up for a very positive season for us.